Welcome everybody to level 5 of Earthworm Jim. Yes, that's the actual name of the level. Level 5.
So years before Hirohito established his company, you were still influenced.
This game came out 4 years before level 5 was founded, so...
I guess we didn't have enough time to think up a clever name for that.
Well,
two dimensions, but we ran out of time.
This is once again the developers trying to be witty in the same way that Leisure Suit Larry didn't have a fourth game. They skipped from 3 to 5 as a joke. So, alright, so this is a laboratory. We're being attacked by brains. As you can basically, everybody, this is the lair of yet another classic, prominent villain of the Earthworm Jim series, Professor Monkey for a Head. Yes, that's his name.
The names are all very on the nose.
Yeah, this team is so creative with them.
Professor Monkey for a Head is exactly what the name implies. What I love about it is the pun of it. Get it? Professor Monkey Forehead. Forehead, get it? We're clever. Anyway. Anyway, yeah. Basically, this laboratory is where we're attacked by brains, flying eyes.
Well, those tend to be connected to brains.
And I saw green versions of those robot enemies from the first Crash Bandicoot.
And I could have sworn I heard the whoa sound effect from Crash Bandicoot 2.
I'm pretty sure those sound effects weren't even around that time.
Stock sound effects.
No. I'm talking about the whoa.
Oh, the whoa. Nah.
I don't know.
Anyway, look at that. Look at that.
I don't mean that I absolutely heard it. More like
the energy orbs were pointing to the direction I should go in an arrow. How nice. Thanks, developers. All right.
Aren't these game designers wonderful?
So, Teo, I guess you're really looking forward to recording that game for the channel.
It's interesting you say that, Teo, because...
that's for dweebs, Jova, sorry.
It's interesting you say that, Teo, because this game in general feels a lot like what the developers of Bubsy were trying to make. Yeah.
Bubsy 3D
failed miserably.
Again, Bubsy 3D thought it was going to be the first 3D platformer, so maybe that might have been okay with it, even though it really wouldn't have been in hindsight. But turns out Crash and Mario came out before they did, and they were doing it so much better too.
Cage.
Yes.
And they still released Bubsy 3D as it was.
Alright, so the gimmick of this is that we're constantly being attacked by things from all directions. As you can tell, the directions come in a pattern, sort of. So basically just keep shooting so you can defend yourself. Don't worry about running out of ammo, because the game will give you plenty of ammo pickups in between parts of this, as you're about to see. The problem is that I actually went ahead and I actually caught the ammo pickups because I already know in advance that I could get them before, so might as well. Also, the electricity between those two things is... Oh, there you go. Here's another ammo pickup. This is one that you can only get via the cage thing. And there you go.
So is the cage automatic, or are you moving it?
Automatic. Right now, I'm just waiting. And there we go. Alright, round 2. Take
Jesus.
that, you... Whatever you things are.
I think they're rolling brains.
Amoebas, I guess.
Yes.
How are you even supposed to have reflexes enough for this?
You have
Seriously.
You have to be hardcore, Teo, as you say.
You have to, you have to know where these things are coming, like the memorization. This is Battletoads level.
It's like bullet hell. Really.
It's not that much, Teo. They actually, if you pay attention, they actually do have a pattern. In the sense that they
they do, but at the same time, the time in between one string of them and the other is very minimal. So you need to be.
Yeah, you haven't got breathing time to actually pay attention to this.
I'm gonna side with Pedro on this one. This one is actually more fair in the sense, like, well, basically the trick is like
it's Professor Monkey for a Head.
Essentially, the trick with that section is just, as soon as you spot a single rolling brain, I'm going to call it, from any angle, immediately point in that direction while holding the fire button. That usually did it good for me.
Plus it seems like they don't, like, it takes a lot for them to actually kill you, so it seems fine.
Whereas in Battletoads, you have to be incredibly cryptic, as in you have to guess stuff out of a cryptic sense, and stuff will kill you in one hit.
Shira has
In other cases, you need to be constantly on the nose.
Shira has a good, but basically that's Professor Monkey. Sorry, Professor Doctor for her head. Basically, they have two.
Monkey for head.
But basically, Jova, it's Professor Monkey for her head as his alter ego, which is Monkey Professor for her head.
Of course.
Interesting.
All right, let me just get the actual manual so I can read the.
Oh Jesus.
Oh.
Levels. Here, level 5. Here we go. The professor would love to have Earthworm Jim on the dissection table, but that darn super suit keep him safe. The professor wants that suit back. After all, he designed it for the queen. There you go. The professor is the one who designed the suit. Of course,
So
he could make
probably
another
knows all
one.
its weaknesses.
If only that darn monkey hadn't eaten the blueprints. That's another can of worms entirely. You better keep an eye out for the professor's creepy science experiments. They're everywhere. Careful when the lights go out. Remember when you were afraid of the dark? Relive the horror, if you can find it. And find your way out. Alright, that's a good point, because I'm about to find out. Basically, you can actually find out a secret hidden level within this, within level 5.
Interesting.
Now let me read the professor's bio. Professor.
Also, yeah, a level called level 5 with a professor character in it.
There you go, Professor Monkey.
Some clear inspiration here.
Professor Monkey for a head. You'd be pretty mad too if you had a monkey sharing your head, or is it the professor sharing the monkey's head?
Or his entire body by the looks of it.
Whatever you do, don't call him Monkey Professor for a head, or he'll get really steamed. This guy is totally bananas, and he's willing to destroy Jim to prove it. Alright, welcome to the hidden level of Earthworm Jim. Who turned out the light?
Why is there a saloon music?
Maybe we're
because Tommy's eccentric too. Anyway,
well, don't deceive to you. Clearly, we're in a space western opera. This is actually clearly a space saloon.
No, it's not. It's a 5-part level too. But the gimmick of this level is that, as you can probably tell, you can only see Jim's little bubbly eyes. And fortunately, you always have a basic idea of what you can do thanks to the spotlights there. Those are your hints of where you should go and where the platforms basically are. As for the enemies, you can also see the enemy's eyes, so you always have a basic idea of where the enemies are. So trust me, it's not that bad. Like once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty fair and works fine. It's an interesting idea for a level, I would say. There you go.
I guess it's kind of also the prototype of those silhouette levels that recent platformers always love to put in.
Probably.
Like Donkey Kong Country or Rayman Origins.
True. Never understood why side-scrollers today have such an obsession
It's
with
visually
this.
appealing, I guess.
Because it looks cool, that's why.
It also makes for sometimes a nice level mechanic of sorts, you know, when done properly, and is actually legit challenging and not just a BS means.
Also, I think Super Mario 3D World had the shadow stages.
Yeah, it did.
There we go.
And then Mighty Number 9 had a stage that could have done that, but was literally just apparently a stage.
Alright, you'll also notice that the final section of this level doesn't have spotlights. That's because it's just a straight...
good luck.
No, actually, it's a straight path all the way to the end. However, there's surprises awaiting us at the end of it.
A bottomless pit.
No, you wish.
That will be something Battletoads will do.
I wish.
Sure, this game was not made by Concept.
Whoa!
Oh god!
Oh, hello!
Hey, kitty.
I am not a fan of that. Oh my gosh, it is a cat.
There we go. Whew. That was scary.
No. I like the cat.
Well, I don't know what the hell that thing was, but I don't want to find out.
Nope.
It was a cat that wanted to lick you in the lethal way.
By the way, since Pedro brought it up, I'm actually fine with stages like that in 2D games. It's 3D games where I have an issue.
Wait,
it's a lot more difficult to judge where to actually go.
Yeah,
when it comes to...
the perspective.
Yeah,
It's
depth perception and
depth
perspective is a
perception, there you
huge
go.
issue in 3D, whereas in 2D, that kind of stuff is generally okay with me. Especially in the case like this, where you can still see, the enemies and things that can hurt you.
Yeah. Crash
A
Bandicoot
lot
kind
easier
of
to judge in 3D in 2D than 3D.
To continue what I
Crash
was
Bandicoot
sorry.
kind of found a good compromise between that by giving you a way to provide light while also making it so that you could get a good idea of where enemies were hiding out if you paid attention enough.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Jim's
know.
nude.
Jim, that's a good way of thinking ahead.
Anyway, just to finish what I was saying, there's also the fact that it doesn't come across on my playthrough because I'm using the invincibility cheat. However, those things don't even actually hurt you all that much anyway. So as long as you don't stand around picking your nose, you should be fine because the game gives you health.
Okay.
Sure, it's a way of speaking. Anyway, yeah, basically, as you can probably guess, yeah, we have to try our best to get out of here alive when get back to the suit. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Let's continue.
I
Surprising.
like this track.
Oh yeah, this track is awesome. I love the bass in this one.
Yeah. It's got a nice it's got that nice
Genesis,
twang,
yeah.
with the slight bit of rock in it.
Well, remember, Teo, the tracks were originally intended to be on a Genesis sound chip. But since I'm playing the Sega CD version, we get to hear the tracks before they were compressed into it. So we actually get to hear the tracks as they were originally made. I do. It's an overall better. It's the overall best way of enjoying the soundtrack. However, when it comes to New Junk City and Falling, which is the first theme of the final level of this game, I actually do prefer the Mega Drive versions. I kind of think it's one of those cases where, don't get me wrong, the CD versions sound great as well. It's just that you can. It's so abundantly clear that Tommy was thinking of the Genesis sound chip when he made those because they work so much perfectly with the Genesis sound chip. Let me just.
Yeah, I think what I noticed is that the distance, calculate the distance in order to do the grappling hook, always has some kind of, not problem, but over-evaluation. Like you're either too far or too ahead.
It's one of those things where you have to make sure that the whip touches the hook.
Yeah.
Basically, there you go.
There you go.
Brains.
Which some enemies also scatter into those minor things that then keeps attacking you, to understand.
The figure.
There we go. And now,
Boss fight.
let's see. Oh, and it's not yet.
Oh, alright.
The level was extended for the special edition, so we get to enjoy a bit more level.
Nice.
Here we go.
Well
there
said.
you go. Not to mention here, we have to have a confrontation with Professor Monkey for a head.
Well, yeah, that's what I was
That's the
thinking.
idea.
That's the thing, Teo. He's not the final boss of this level.
Huh.
The final boss of this level is one of his experiments.
Oh, is it the cat?
Oh, so it's a
from
bait and
before?
switch boss.
No, Teo, that's a hidden level.
Oh.
I get the feeling. Why do I get the feeling?
Foreshadow.
Basically, the fight against Professor Monkey Forehead is it's not so much a typical boss fight. It's more like you're kind of chasing him through the level of sorts.
Oh, yeah, I get it. You were saying, Jova?
Why do I get the feeling we'll be hearing from that giant cat at some point, though?
We won't. There are plenty of villains that return in the second game, but that one in particular doesn't.
Oh. Besides,
Well,
Jova,
Jova, if he did return, the mystery of what that thing is would get ruined. So.
besides Jova, there's
Well,
also,
I mean, it's obviously a cat.
There's also Evil the Cat anyway on his own.
Yeah, we already have an evil cat for a villain. So.
So who says there can't be another giant cat in this one? Hey, maybe he
That's
loaned
being
him
too
to Professor
greedy.
Monkey for a head.
And
That cat
Hey,
could
maybe
be
for-
its mother.
today I will destroy
Maybe.
the universe.
You know, that could be it.
What does that lever do?
You'll see too. Hold on. There you go.
Oh, it gives you
items.
Could he? Like,
Anyway.
something tells me you're gonna need them.
Now, Mongo, be sure to print this amusing children's tomb, but be sure to not print the secret of ultimate destruction. Anyway, all right. So the final boss. So the boss of this level is chicken in a barrel that throws eggs. That I.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is like that. It reminds me a bit
also, I kind of love Tommy's choice of music.
Yeah, very epic. Oh, and that's it.
Oh.
No. The
Wow,
the boss has two faces. Now we're fighting it as we fall. Yeah, this is actually one of the tracks that I was talking about. Aside from the aside from New Junk City, which was the theme for the first level, this is actually one of the tracks that I actually do prefer on the Mega Drive version, because you can so tell that this track was made with the Genesis sound chip in mind, because the electronic sounds on the Mega Drive version they have an extra kick to it, you might say.
Yeah.
I'll be showing that in the extras port.
This kind of sounds more like a Crash tune.
Yeah, kinda. It's ironic also because the first phase also reminded me of the Feather Fiend boss of Donkey Kong Country Returns, which also had music similar to Crash Bandicoot.
If you run out of ammo during this battle, don't worry, because one of the many things that this chicken lays is ammo for your gun. I don't know.
How considerate.
Yeah.
It's like the Shadow Fever.
It's probably a good place to have it.
There we go. Oh, Jesus, Dad.
Well, that's the first thing that's to go when you're ready to cook some fried chicken.
Groovy indeed. And now, another Andy asteroids.
More Andy asteroids. Well, onto the next word, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a rocket man.
Alright, let's go.
Yes, you are.
Alright, start placing your bets, everybody. Will I win this race? Or
Well, we're off to a great start.
or will I have to fight Psychro again?
I wonder.
Careful, little buddy. Actually, this is a good time to mention something in preparation for the level after this. Let me just get up the manual. Was it? Oh, here we go. Alright, basically, Jova, there's also another character who's actually Jim's best friend, and he actually also is his sidekick in the cartoon, called Peter Puppy. For some reason in the cartoon, they made him yellow instead of pink, but whatever. There you go.
Oh, okay, the very last second.
Man, that was a last-minute turnaround.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Basically,
Pretty
yeah. Alright, and now on to the next level. For Pete's sake. Alright, this is Peter Puppy. Now, I know what you're thinking, Joe, but this is like an ordinary puppy, right? Basically, he's Jim's friend, and he's trying to get across this place so he can get back to his little doggy home. Here's a problem. There are evil plants and aliens out to get him. So we have...
Oh, so it was Cortex Chase of levels in Crash to Insanity.
As a result, we have...
Everything is trying to kill your AI ally, so you've got to basically get it just right so they can make it through.
Yeah, basically, we have... Don't worry, Peter does not die. However, if you do fail, something more interesting happens, you might say. Meteors. Fortunately, thanks to my invincibility code, I'll just skip those for the sake of brevity. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking aliens. And there you go.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, here's the interesting thing, Jova. Every time Peter gets angry or gets hurt,
he
tur-
goes
he-
he hulks out.
He turns into a monster and starts biting off Jim. And what this means in terms of gameplay is you get sent back a few meters.
So
Basically.
what happens if he falls?
What just happened? That's what happened. He fell.
Wait. Well, even if he falls, apparently that he's not even like down there dead. No, that's just pisses him off.
Yes.
Well, I guess.
Falling down a bottomless pit is just a minor inconvenience.
The thing about
asteroids.
but that's the thing, Jova. The way it kind of works, and you even see this in the cartoon as well. Before he can actually get seriously hurt, his Alchemania status triggers. Think of him as a puppy version of Bruce Banner, basically.
Yeah.
But for some reason, whipping him, I guess, doesn't make him angry. Thank God.
Well, the game would be flat out unplayable if it didn't.
Ouch.
That's not very nice.
Look at those puppy eyes. Anyway, let me read the description. Peter may first look like a cute, cuddly puppy, but when he transforms into his alter ego, there's nowhere to hide. Oh, there you go. When he turns into his alter ego, there's nowhere to hide. This isn't going to be just another walk in the park with Peter. Jim's super
That
suit.
was very clever.
Jim's super suit helped them survive the trip through the black hole to Peter's world, but its powers might not be enough to help him get back. In the meantime, here's the description of the level. Walking the dog was never like this. If you let little Peter fall, watch out. His temper gets the best of him and he mutates into a ravenous hulking giant. If the meteor showers don't rain on your parade and the flying saucers don't blow you away, then maybe, just maybe, you'll make it through okay. Oh, did I forget to mention that the tentacles of Unippus, like an octopus but with one arm, can kill you? It's a good thing you mentioned, Manuel. Thank you.
Lovely.
There you go. So yeah, as you can, basically this is an escort mission when you get right down to it, but it's actually not that bad. Basically, it's a matter of studying the environment, because as you can see, the game, as you can see, playing it on easy mode is very generous with health pickups. So basically, study the environment carefully. Remember, one thing you can do is every time you shoot your gun, Peter will, climb up on the floor. So that's a way to, get him to stop, so you can, try to, study the environment a bit more. So basically, it's all a matter of making good use of the mechanics in your favor.
Makes sense.
This is actually one of those cases where, hold on. Okay, you're gonna see this for yourselves in the extras part when I show it. But one of the things about the various versions of Earthworm Jim, particularly the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo versions, is that they had different backgrounds between each other, because the original version was the Mega Drive version, and the Sega CD Special Edition version that we're playing is based on the Mega Drive version, so it has the original backgrounds. However, the Super Nintendo port of this game actually has different backgrounds, and for the most part, I don't really care for the Super Nintendo backgrounds, and I'm going to go into more detail about it when we get to it. But for example, this is actually this particular level is one of those rare cases where I actually do prefer the Super Nintendo background. I actually think, but to give you guys an idea, notice how the background is orange. In the Super Nintendo version, it's nighttime and the moon is white, and I think that it makes for a much better color contrast between the foreground and the background. Don't get me wrong, this is fine too. However, I actually do prefer the way it looks on the Super Nintendo version. I'll give it that.
I'm fine either way. Since I have seen those backgrounds.
Yeah, I probably need to see them for myself anyway.
Sure.
Jesus, Peter, you're way too productive when you're.
And I guess it may be some sort of referential to the nature of Peter, in a sense that he kind of goes a bit werewolf.
Yeah, it's not so much that too. The episode 1 of season 2 of the cartoon actually explains his origin story and how he got this ability to turn into a monster. I'll just say that Evil the Cat is involved.
Of course it is.
Of course.
I mean, never just leave a cat around with a dog. That's. Oh, jeez.
I fell. Fortunately, the game also has a fairly forgiving checkpoint system. There's no.
On the topic of
the game does not have your typical checkpoint markers like a star post in Sonic or anything like that. Like it's invisible checkpoints. Basically, when you get to a certain part of the level, the game will invisibly.
Yeah, they seem to be every few feet.
You were saying, Jova? Sorry.
On the topic of cats, well, cats kind of are objectively not as sentimental as dogs are. Like, for example, if say a dog's
I can attest to this.
Let me put it like this: if a dog's master dies or something, that dog will still be loyal to his master or whatnot.
Yeah, I
Cats,
heard
though,
countless stories of that.
Believe it or not, some cats will actually actively try to eat their masters if they die because they're just that selfish and hungry.
If they're dead long enough, that is actually true.
The fact is, like, a dog would never do that to one it considers a companion, whereas cats, no. You're pretty much a buffet to them if you're dead.
So the moral of the story
charming.
is if you own a cat, don't die.
I don't know if-
That's something that we
Well,
all
don't die
appreciate
and
to
be
learn.
alone to the point where nobody can find you before the cat decides to eat you
I
or
can
gets
speak.
hungry enough.
I can speak for Joe. I don't know if he's seen the cartoon. However, I have actually shown Shira and Teo the first 2 episodes of the cartoon. As you guys can see, the cartoon was pretty faithful to the overall spirit of the game, like
Pretty much.
like the overall surreal humor and all that good stuff. So and even
I'm
the
surprised. That actually surprising me. Why in that case not a lot of people talk about it. When it comes to be considering how painful it is, you'd think that it would be used as an example for video game adaptation that actually works.
How popular was it at the time for an adaptation?
Unfortunately, Teo, even though the games themselves are popular, the cartoon wasn't that popular. I don't remember exactly. I don't know if it was one of those classic cases of a network, badly marketing it or anything like that. Probably, because the cartoon is very beloved among Earthworm Jim fans, and even people who haven't played the games but saw the cartoon as kids still really love it anyway. So it's one of
And
those.
maybe about the fact that, the competition was kind of a bit hotter on the market.
True, yeah. Like remember
Let's
the
never
cartoon.
forget,
The
Sonic
cartoon
and
came out.
Mario
Sorry.
were still the big 2 when it came to platformers. So of course, people pay more attention to their shows.
And I think Sonic had 2 shows out at this time.
I don't think it's so much that, Jova. Like when it comes to the games were incredibly popular regardless of competition. As for the cartoon,
Well, that's what I'm talking about, the cartoons.
the cartoon actually,
when-
I think a better example of competition was the fact that the cartoon came out in 1995, and that was also the time where Cartoon Network entered its golden age, and also had a shit ton of surreal humor cartoons, specifically the What a Cartoon series. So,
Well, to be fair, we also do have to take into account, though, still Sonic and Mario. It's like, we also have to remember that back then people compared cartoony platformer-based shows, almost to a point where there was almost literally a genre, literally called video game shows back
What
in the day.
network did this air on?
the cartoon,
What's it on?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Or what company was behind this?
David Perry and Dr. Naple were producers, but I don't remember the actual. Let me just get.
I think it may have shown up on the Fox Kids and may have been on Kids WB. Let me check.
Trying to see.
I don't remember ever seeing it on Fox Kids.
I don't attest to that because, like I mentioned,
right.
cow.
Oh. Wait a minute. What is it with video games and space cows?
Okay, no, Shiroi. Believe it or not, Shiroi, that flying cow, that's foreshadowing.
Of course it is.
Teo knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Is it something to do with something in the TV show that I've seen?
I don't know. We'll see. Anyway,
I'm
and the
gonna
asteroids.
take that as a maybe.
Rocket man.
All right, Earthworm Jim. Hold on. All right, television.
Considering,
It was on Kids WB. There you go.
Yeah, just as I
makes kind
thought.
of sense considering it was trying to be very kind of like Animaniacs.
Well, I was asking
yes,
for the sake
yes.
of what would that have done for its marketing.
How was
wait,
Kids
wait,
WB
hold
back in
on,
the
hold
90s, Jova?
Hold on. According to this, the show was actually pretty popular.
Well, all right.
Wait, ratings-wise?
Ratings-wise, you mean?
Yes, accordingly. Apparently it rated 8.3 out of 10 on TV.com, which was the big ratings channel back in the day. Back when the internet was new.
New.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I remember the show actually. I mean, I saw bits of it. This show on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, RTL Television, CBBC, and apparently more.
I
No,
guess it just
literally,
didn't
it's-
stick with people for some reason.
It's one of those things. Well,
I
sure.
mean,
it,
okay,
also, it also doesn't help that after Earthworm Jim 2, the developers moved on to other things.
Here's the deal, Stuart.
Go ahead.
Earthworm Jim was, I don't want to say it was not officially part of Animaniacs, but it had what a lot of people call the Animaniacs factor. As in, when Animaniacs ended, a lot of those shows that were attached to Animaniacs, while popular, didn't really have any creators that were really up to snuff and picking them up. Hence why, despite their popularity, we haven't exactly seen new stuff about them and whatnot.
The cartoon was one of the big reasons why the cartoon was so great is in particular. First of all, the voice cast. They got a fantastic cast for it. Dan Castellaneta as Jim, Jeff Bennett as the narrator, Charlie Hadler, aka the voice of Cow, Chicken, and the Red Guy, Jim Cummings as Psycho, for example. So they had a lot of great voice actors. Here's another fun fact: the awesome, catchy opening song. Was done by William Anderson, a TV composer, and he actually does say in his official website that he still has that the opening song for the cartoon was his favorite that he's ever made. So that's pretty cool.
Oh.
And here's an interesting thing that also explains the basically, Jova, the cartoon. I think I've already said this, but just to be sure, the showrunner, aka the lead writer for the Earthworm Jim cartoon, was Doug Langdale, who you might remember as the creator of The Weekenders and Dave the Barbarian for the Disney Channel. Dave the Barbarian is one of my favorite cartoons of all time, so it's already very easy to see why the cartoon was so good to begin with. Because Doug Langdale is great at making surreal 90s style cartoons. Because that's what Dave the Barbarian was basically kind of the last of the 90s style surreal cartoon. It kind of died after that until Adventure Time Season 1 came out. So it was kind of like that. But that's pretty cool. That is, when you actually read the credits for the cartoon, it becomes very easy to see why it was so good, because there were a lot of talented people behind it. Anyway, everybody, tune in to next part where we finish the game and we witness one of the finest endings in the history of fiction. Right, Teo?
All right then. See ya.
See you then.
See ya.